You don't control people by speaking louder. You don't control people by being aggressive. And you definitely don't control people by trying to win arguments. In psychology, the person who tries to control directly almost always loses. Real influence happens quietly, silently, often without the other person even realizing it. Today, we are going to explore how human influence actually works, why most people fail at persuasion, and how you can convince others ethically, intelligently, and effectively, using psychological principles that have been studied for decades. This is not about manipulation, this is about understanding the human mind. The first psychological truth: you cannot control anyone directly. One of the biggest mistakes people make is believing that others can be controlled. Psychology is very clear on this. Human beings resist direct control. This resistance is called psychological reactance. Psychological reactance theory: when people feel pressured, forced, judged, and concerned, their brain automatically says, I will do the opposite. This is why parents lose control over teenagers, leaders fail despite authority, relationships collapse under dominance. The more you push, the more the other person pulls away. True influence begins where force ends. Influence is about perception, not power. People don't follow logic, they follow perception. According to social psychology, people are persuaded not by facts, but by how facts make them feel. If someone feels respected, they listen. If someone feels threatened, they defend. The brain's priority system. The human brain asks three questions before accepting any ideas. Number one, am I safe? Number two, am I respected? And number three, does this benefit me? If even one answer is no, persuasion fails. This is why emotional intelligence beats intelligence every time. The powerful validation, the gateway to influence. One of the most powerful psychological tools is validation. Validation does not mean agreement. It means I understand why you think this way. When you validate someone, their emotional defense drops, their ego relaxes, and their mind opens. For example, instead of saying you are wrong, say I see why this makes sense to you. Psychologically, this activates trust circuit in the brain. Once a person feels understood, they become open to being guided. Why ego is the biggest barrier to persuasion? People are not protecting their ideas. They are protecting their identity. In psychologically, this is called ego defense mechanism. When you challenge someone's belief directly, their ego feels attacked. The brain enters survival mode and logic shuts down. This is why intelligent arguments fail against emotional belief. The golden rule of influence: never attack a person's identity, redirect their perspective instead. People change faster when they believe. This was my own decisions. The principle of framing: same truth, different impact. Framing is one of the most researched tools in psychology. The way you present an idea matters more than the idea itself. For example, instead of saying this decision is risky, say this option protects you from future risk. The human brain responds better to gain framing, safety framing, and control framing. People don't want to be right, they want to feel secure. Silence, the most underrated psychological weapon. Silence makes people uncomfortable. In psychology, silence creates cognitive pressure, self reflection, and internal dialogue. When you stay calm and silent after making a point, the other person starts thinking. They begin filling the gap. They often persuade themselves. Silence shifts power without conflict. The law of reciprocity. Why kindness creates influence. Human beings are wired to return favors. This is called the reciprocity principle. When you listen first, help without asking, and respect without demand, people subconsciously feel I owe them something. Influence increases when people want to give, not when they are forced. Authority without dominance. True authority is not loud, it is calm, consistent, and grounded. Psychology shows that people trust those who speak less but with clarity. Stay emotional stable and do not chase approval. When you don't need validation, your words carry weight. This is known as quiet authority. Emotional regulation. Control yourself first. You cannot control others if you cannot control your emotions. Emotional reactions reduce credibility, trigger resistance, and destroy influence. The most persuasive people stay calm under pressure, respond instead of reacting, and maintain emotional balance. Control begins internally, not externally. Ethical influence versus manipulation. Manipulation uses fear, creates dependency, and breaks trust. Ethical persuasion respects autonomy, encourages awareness, and builds long-term trust. Psychology confirms manipulation works short-term. Ethical influence works for life. The real secret of influence. You don't convince people by overpowering them. You convince them by making them feel safe, understood, and respected. The strongest influencers listen more than they speak, ask better questions, and never rush agreement. Because when people feel heard, they lower their defenses. And when defenses fall, change becomes possible. If this video resonates with you, like it and share it. And don't forget to subscribe YouTube TraitSense channel. Thank you.